Even though we don't have a whole lot of details about the death of the Vice Mayor, Nancy Metayer Bowen, and the DV around that, which is one reason why I haven't talked about it yet. There's not a whole lot of information, but I do want to use this as an example of why Black women face so much more danger, especially when it comes to domestic violence. I mean, in general, in every area, but especially domestic violence. Because unlike me, and if I call the cops, Black women face a whole lot of other risks to themselves, to their community. They're less likely to be believed. Whereas when I called the cops, I mean, let's be real. When I reported DV from my ex, they didn't do anything, but he's a white man. One thing I never had to worry about was them shooting me for reporting it, them showing up and literally taking my life, which has happened many times. I mean, there's a story in the news regularly about this. I don't have to worry about someone else in my house getting shot. I really don't have to worry about someone literally being murdered by the police if I call for help. I don't face the same stigmas. I also don't have a long history of over-policing of me and my community, and therefore also feeling very protective of the person who may be hurting me. Like so I'm going to go over some of that in a minute. First, I just want to talk about her. People have written to me from this town and how devastated this community is. I just want to say a few things. I mean, the only thing that I've been able to find in terms of a motive is the thing that her husband, Stephen, said. He couldn't take it anymore. To me, and what a lot of speculation is that this man was probably very jealous of her success. I mean, jealous men, insecure men are the most dangerous people you can ever get involved with. He admitted it. He admitted he did this. He admitted it to his uncle. Latest update I saw was April 9th, okay? Everything else is from like a week ago, 5 days ago, but this is the most recent thing I've seen, that there were calls made to this house. In hindsight, investigators say the husband's relatives appeared to already know what happened. They were worried about her. The caller pleaded with dispatchers to force entry into the home. Tell them to break down the door by whatever means. This dispatcher responded, "Ma'am, I understand we're worried about her. We're trying to find her, but you can't just break down the door. We have to have a reason." Moments later, a man identified as suspect's uncle told this dispatcher, "I'm going to give you a reason, okay? My nephew, her husband, came to my house this morning and told me he did something to her. I asked if she was alive. He said no." So apparently, 911, this is the 6th call for services at this residence since they moved in August 2023. So that's not even 3 years, and this is the 6th call. Now I don't know what those calls were. There was the calls include a disturbance, a theft, animal bites, and another investigation. Though there's no details. This is a family member, but they're talking about, losing Nancy. Talking about how she was preparing to announce her congressional run, a run she would have won, and we were eager to celebrate. An insecure man is a dangerous man. A jealous and envious man can kill. If he can't celebrate you, protect yourself. Your success is not a problem. Your growth is not a threat. Choose safety at the first sign. Choose yourself quickly. Do not build your life with someone who needs you to feel small, small and feel insignificant. And then posted all this stuff about the national, if you know someone who's in danger. So I don't remember which family member this was. I don't even know if it was said. I just saw it posted, and under, an article was talking about people are like, oh, this man was jealous. So I think the family is being very private right now. They're very devastated, but I wouldn't be surprised if we find in the coming months of a lot of stuff that was going on behind closed doors. Here's the thing. Men know that public-facing women are going to face even more scrutiny than the average woman, right? I mean, I don't even want to put myself in the category with her, but Ms. Aisha, who I've had on lives over on Patreon, she's the one who really helped me understand how much social media was used to keep me in a bad relationship. That man knew it. And, even now, this is one reason why I don't talk about my husband. I'm like, you know what? He's got his thing. I've got my career. My career is not based on my marriage. My career, it's just a detail of my life. I happen to be married. I got married at like 42 after being single most of my life and almost dying because of one relationship. But I learned from that one relationship that men will use the internet and your public face, like you being more famous than them, more successful than them or whatever. They will be jealous of you. They will use that against you. They will sabotage it. They will do all kinds of stuff. And so, God, I can't imagine. I really think, besides all the things I've already talked about, I wouldn't be surprised if her being a politician and being in the public spotlight, having so much pressure on her, being such a huge community organizer, to then realize that you're married to a dangerous man who's could kill you. The optics of that, I'm not a bit surprised. I'm not a bit surprised that this, if this was ongoing, which I'm almost certain it was. I'm not a bit surprised it was a secret. Being in a relationship with a dangerous man who's abusing you, even if it's not physical, if it's emotional, if it's sexual, whatever, it is humiliating. It's isolating. It's humiliating. Your mind forked all the time. But then being a politician on top of that, who is loved and respected in your community, and you are a front-facing person, and you're a representative of your community, especially as a Black woman, and all of the shit she's facing because of that. The pressure to probably protect that man or his image, and when women are men's PR machine already, the pressure for her to maintain a secret around her private life and who she's married to, I could see her being cornered by this. I don't know. I'm I'm a little bit more subdued today. This story really upset me, honestly. And whatever. I honestly hadn't even thought about this part until just now, of like how much being like that, like I write about my life, right? It's different. I talk about my life, but I also talk about culture, which is why I've shifted more into that. But I can't imagine being a politician. Oh my God. I'm curious how many female politicians might be in abusive relationships because they're cornered. Anyway.
Nancy Metayer Bowen was allegedly killed by her husband. Police are investigating it as a domestic violence incident, and we cannot talk about domestic violence and lethality without discussing the intersection of gender and race. My name is Haley. I'm an educator in domestic violence, human trafficking, and SA. Did you know that Black women are 2.5 times more likely to die at the hands of an intimate partner than white women? That more than 4 in 10 Black women will experience physical violence at the hands of an intimate partner in their lifetimes? Did you know that Black women face unique and specific barriers to accessing help, leaving abusive relationships, discrimination, and racism within domestic violence agencies themselves, much higher rates of being criminalized when they do ask for help? And Black women are more likely to face sexual violence at the hands of law enforcement. Nancy was a well-loved member of her community. She was hardworking, empathetic, kind. She was the first Black Haitian American female member of the Coral Springs City Commission. She was considering a run for Congress, and she should still be alive. In all of the news reports that I read about this, they mentioned the specific domestic violence statistics, and it was important to me to come on here and say that those statistics are worse and different for Black women. The intersection of race and gender matters the most when we are having these conversations. I do a lot of education on this platform. Anytime I talk about Amber Heard or Taylor Frankie Paul, my videos go viral. Of the multiple times that I have talked about violence against Black and Indigenous women, they don't. May she rest in peace. Her story and the truth about domestic violence needs to be told.
We need to talk about Nancy Metayer Bowen because her story is a heavy reminder of a deep, dark truth that many of us do not want to face. You can know somebody for years. You can live with them for years. You can have children with them. You can love that man or that woman down. You may think that you know their soul. You will probably be like, we're soulmates, and still be completely blind to what's going on in their head. Reality check. Humans are unpredictable. People change and sometimes they snap. It doesn't matter if you've been together with a person for 10 months or maybe 10 years. You never truly know the moment when somebody's internal compass might break and turn them into something you do not even recognize. And they turn into a threat that threatens your livelihood. When I do relationship readings, I see this energy all the time. I'll read a client's significant other's energy and I'll see that it's off. The energy is like of an active warning. It's an indicator that the closest person to them has become a threat. And the fact that my client is getting a reading is because they know and they feel something is off. This is why spiritual protection is not just a vibe. It's a necessity because you truly just don't know. The red flags, the warning signs, they're different for everybody. You can't control the minds of others, but we can fortify our own energy. Getting spiritual protection is about building your own barrier that can significantly minimize threats or danger in your life. Unfortunately, this event happened to Nancy. God only knows what was going on in that man's head. He could have been jealous of her, he could have had his own demons, but you just don't know. And sometimes there are people who are the closest to you who can potentially be jealous, feel less than, feel threatened by your success, by your good heart, by the good that you do in the community. Evil does not want to see good win. Evil will try to destroy good and minimize good, whatever and however that looks like, including taking out a person that's supposed to be the closest person to them. For anyone who's dealing with issues within their relationship, listen to me and listen to me good. Get spiritual protection and protect yourself, even within your own family, within your own relationships, within your job, wherever you may be, and there's another human being there. It could be your own kids. Protect yourself.